Hi everybody. Thanks for tuning in again. Paranormal Musings. Dun, dun, dun. So, on this episode, I wanted to talk about out of body experiences. So, I also want feedback. If any of you guys have had them, I totally want to hear about your experiences, or if you have a page, link me to your page. That'd be awesome. So, out of body experiences. The first one I had, I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. It was extremely insane to me. Um, so I went to sleep. My body was asleep, but my mind was still awake. So I freaked out, of course, and I kept trying to jerk my body out of it. If you've experienced it before, then you know what I mean. Like you can kind of um jerk your body a little bit to try to get you out of it, and sometimes that works. But I was 9, 10 years old. So I was just like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't get out of it. So I just laid there. After you lay there for a while, you can get out of your body. So I get out of my body, and as soon as I look to my wall, a hand comes through and yanks me through. When I get through the wall, I'm looking, and there's a guy in a gray suit, and then there's this being that's really huge, and he's towering over him, and they're yelling at each other, they're pointing, and da 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 da. I don't know what they're saying. I cannot hear them. It's like I know, it's like I was deaf there, and but I knew. I mean, at a certain point of looking at them back and forth, I realized they were arguing over me, and they weren't looking at me, but I could just feel it. Um, and then it felt like they were arguing over my soul. I don't know how I knew this, but to this day I believe it to be true. They're arguing over my soul. So as soon as I realized what they were arguing over, I'm like, this is crazy. I want to get the hell out of here. So I jump back to the wall. Something grabs my foot, and it's this disgusting hand. So it was the being that was grabbing my foot, and then I see guy in the gray suit pulling him get off of me. So that freaked me the hell out. As soon as I got my ankle back, I jumped back in my body, and I woke up and I freaked out and called my aunt, who's very spiritual and believes in God and things like that. And she prayed and all that kind of stuff. But for something like that to happen to a little kid, it's pretty crazy. Now, science will say that, I don't know, it has something to do with sleep and REM states and atonia. I don't know. I read a whole bunch of stuff that science explains sleep paralysis and it explains out of body experiences and things like that. And I'm a psych major, like I graduated with my bachelor's of science in psychology, so that was also a topic that we talked about, and they really look at it, of course, from the science perspective. I don't necessarily agree. I mean, their opinions on it, I don't necessarily agree with. I definitely think there's a spiritual aspect um, of out of body experiences. So I had another one. I mean, I had a lot of mini ones where I would jerk myself out of it because it just wasn't something I wanted to do. But when we moved into this house, I was about 15 when it happened. I had another one where I got out of my body, and in this one, same thing happened. Laid down, my body was asleep, my mind was awake. But at that point, I knew what was going on. I knew what it was, so I just let it happen. And I got out of my body. And this time around, everything was rosy colored in my room. It was all pink. Don't know why, but it was all pink. And I was really wanting to walk out of my room. And by that time, I had read about it. When things started happening to me, the only support I had was the internet and reading other people's experiences and learning I wasn't crazy. So I felt comfortable enough to get out of my body and walk around. But I also, when I got out of my body, first of all, I can tell, yeah, I was in this room, but I was in a different plane or a different field. I don't know, but I was not on. I just wasn't here. You've gone through this, you know what I mean by that comment. But I also could sense somebody in the room with me. And, as I started to get up and explore, I walked over to my closet and it didn't see anything physically, but something pushed me back in my body and it felt like a whirlwind, like I was going a million miles per second, um, back into my body. And to this day, I feel like something was protecting me. I feel like something was like, you're not supposed to be here. There are things that you can encounter here. And I've read about things too. Like after that experience, I read about it to see if anything like that happened to other people, and it did. So I guess if you don't know what you're doing, I think it could be something dangerous. But I've definitely heard other stories. One of my friends, I discussed like a lot of paranormal things with him, and he told me his grandmother used to have these. And one of the most awesome stories she had, her husband was in a war, um, and she had caught him, like she would travel to where he was to check on him, and she caught him cheating on her. And she would catch him doing other stuff too, like eating stuff she didn't really want him to eat. And every time she spoke to him, she'd be like, "Hey, don't do this," or "Hey," she'd call him out on it, and it really freaked him out because he didn't know how she knew. I mean, a lot of the things that she knew, he did by himself. There was no friends or nothing like that who knew what he was doing. So, or, especially if he was eating something that was wrong. I mean, none of his friends knew his wife, like, didn't want him eating it. And on top of that, they didn't care to call her and tell, if they did. So, that was I thought that was a pretty cool story. And that's the appeal to me. That's the appeal of out of body experiences, that you can go to different places, you can travel other places. Like, just think about that. This girl traveled to a different country and she did it spiritually. She didn't have to pay for nothing. I mean, it's not like she could eat things and experience things, but she could definitely see things. Um, so I thought that was pretty freaking wicked. Um, and to hear that story like from somebody, word of mouth and not read it online, was just pretty cool. Um, I thought this was pretty interesting, and he had a lot of weird stories too. We would say deja vu and things like that, but he had a lot of like premonition type things. Like he dreamt about it and then it happened later, and it really makes you think about like the potential that we have as beings and what we can do if we put our minds to it. Um, it's pretty freaking crazy, I think. So, I don't think I ever want to have an outer body experience anymore because of the last experience I had where they pushed me in my body and I just felt like I wasn't supposed to be doing what I was doing. But I definitely think they're interesting. So please subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. And please share your stories with me. I am so eager to hear like other people's stories and what they're going through and what's happened to them. I'm all about it. So thanks for tuning in and have a blessed day.